Hello and welcome to Basic Hand Tools, Identification and Use for Beginners. Today we'll talk about basic hand tools. We'll take a look at an overview. We'll take a look at some commonly used hand tools related to the trade which you're going into, those being hammers, screwdrivers, and pliers. The basic hand tool overview. There are a wide variety of hand tools supporting many trades. Your trade is basically the career field that you're coming into. Some of these tools are co-utilized, meaning that the same tool is used in more than one field. So basically that would be like an HVAC technician using the same tools as you would, or for instance, an electrician using the same tools as a plumber, or a plumber using the same tools as an electrician. So hand tools, we find those that are made for digging, for shaping, turning, cutting, holding, driving, and more. Some of the examples of hand tools: shovels, rakes, vices, pliers, wrenches, hammers, chisels, files, saws, and screwdrivers are just a couple of examples. Now these examples, these are more categories because there's several different types within each of these headings. So always make sure that you're choosing the right tool for the job, and with all these choices, it can sure be hard to do that. So some commonly used hand tools in the field, because there's so many types, this video will only focus on a couple of the more commonly used. So we'll talk about a hammer, a standard claw or carpenter's hammer. We'll go into the screwdrivers, a standard tip, flathead, or the cross point Phillips type, and a couple of more. And then we'll get into pliers, and we'll talk about the slip joint pliers specifically. So a safety alert here before we get started. Never use a hand tool for anything other than its intended purpose. Doing so could cause injury to the user, damage to the tool, or both. So hammers. Claw hammers are good for hammering nails and or staples, or removing those nails and staples. So it's known as a claw hammer because of this portion here on the back. That's going to allow you to remove those staples and nails, and then of course the flat blunt head up here at the top. This is what you're going to use to hammer that nail or staple into the wood. So some of you have maybe seen or used a hammer around your home for hanging pictures, building or framing homes or houses, or any kind of construction work that you would need a hammer. For plumbers, when we put in piping supports to hold piping in place, we often put those in with a hammer and a nail. Screwdrivers. Screwdrivers are good for removing and installing screws. Always remember to use the correct size, otherwise the head of the screw can become damaged and it can be hard to remove or install. And screwdrivers should never be used for prying or for digging. So we've got a quick video here that's going to highlight some of the screwdrivers that you'll see in the field. And lastly, we'll talk about pliers, slip joint pliers particularly. They're good for turning and holding nuts and bolts with flat sides, holding hot metal, and you can also twist wire. They're known as slip joint pliers because this elongated hole in the middle, this allows this rivet here that holds the two sides together to pass back and forth there, allowing those pliers, those jaws, this portion here, to open up more narrow or more wide depending on the size of item that you happen to be working on. So pliers are really used a lot in the plumbing world. We use them on faucets, all kinds of valves when we're taking them apart. They're really a good thing to have in your toolbox. So today we've talked about the basic hand tool overview. We've talked about some commonly used hand tools. We've focused on the hammer, screwdrivers, and pliers. So we thank you for your time in reviewing this video, and wish you good luck in your class.